Hello, everybody, and welcome to Robot in 3 Days. We're here with the Bulldogs. It is day one recap, and holy cow, lots to go on here. Of course, with the Infinite Recharge game, there's two robots that we're actually building. I think it's kind of the cool unorthodox thing. There's a 2020 robot that's being modified, and then a 2021 robot that's being created. So no matter what situation you're in, the Bulldogs have a solution that you can look at and apply to your team potentially. Now, I think the big thing to keep in mind is that these are not the end-all be-all. These aren't going to be the 118s, the 2056s, the cheesy poofs, that sort of thing, right? These are going to be hopefully practical solutions for your teams to do either at home or no matter what situation you're in. So our process here today is we're going to be going through all the different kind of subsystems that are going on, and then we'll be taking questions. So if you have questions in chat, post them in. It does help if you take out first updates now, so we can field those and we'll grab those through here. We also have a giveaway from our friends at Kettering University for a Kettering hoodie that we'll show in a little bit as well too. So make sure you keep that in mind. So we're just going to start down the line. We have our lead here for Kettering Ri3D. Introduce yourself, let the audience know, and let us know what's going on.
This First Updates Now video is sponsored in part by PTC and Kettering University. PTC has created Onshape, which is the Google Docs of CAD, allowing your team members to collaborate on your models in real time, even when you can't be together. No downloads or installs, just log in using your web browser. First students and mentors can access Onshape for free at onshape.com/edu. Kettering University is a national leader in experiential STEM and business education. Discover why so many First alumni come to Kettering University by scheduling a virtual visit at kettering.edu.
All right. Hello, my name is Ben. I'm one of the co-leads for Robotics Days here at so basically we started off the day with just watching watching First's live stream and all that. And right after the PDF was released, we looked at the all the changes that they had to offer. You can check out our video on that on First Updates Now YouTube channel. So yeah, and then right after that, I did a wonderful food review of my Jimmy John's lunch. And then right after that, we started working on the 2020 robot that Eric will get into.
As Ben said, my name is Eric. I've been working with the 2020 robot because I have a lot of experience with it. The first thing that we did was just go back and start just trying to run everything, see what works, what doesn't, and we implemented that all of our surgical tubing, our belts in the middle, they've been sitting out in the high tension setups for about a year now, just untouched. Had to go back, swap out all of our different surgical tubing so that we could get the climber back up to the right height. The intake could actually bring the balls into the robot. And then just looking for just different missing bolts and any other issues. Luckily, since there aren't too many game changes in terms of the actual content, what to do is just make sure that this robot works as well as it did last year. And hopefully we can find some minor ways to improve it, like getting it to store 4 balls consistently without any jamming. We have some ideas for that, like swapping out this middle belt for something a little bit wider, like polyurethane. We'll see where that goes.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm the lead design student, I guess. I'm also responsible for the shooter. So we're very fortunate this year that we were able to replay the same game. So we already had some CAD ideas done coming into today, which allowed us to get a big jump start on our robot building. So we already have a shooter and an intake and a climber being assembled. So we're going to talk about the shooter. So we decided to go with a hooded shooter. It's gravity fed, which allowed us to get a very consistent shot. It's not in that configuration right now, but we're planning on shooting from the target zone, which is just a really easy shot to make. It's 2 Falcons on just a belt reduction. So I'm going to hand you over to Nick.
Hey guys, my name's Nick. I'm the manufacturing lead of the Bulldogs. So we decided we wanted to use a kit of parts chassis this year so we could relate to more teams that could be potentially doing that. And to speed up the process and potentially provide some entertainment, we decided to have 2 people that have never assembled one before speedrun it. And on top of that, chat ruled that we must do it with 0 instructions. So I think at the end of the day, it turned out okay. Not much was lost in translation, but we'll be building off of this to mount the shooter later tonight, and then hopefully the intake after that.
All right, I'm Noah. I am the designer and in charge of manufacturing all of the CNC parts, and the intake and shooter came out pretty well on our little tiny router, and yeah, we got parts. We just got to assemble them.
Alrighty, hi there. My name's Luke, and I am the other co-lead along with Ben for this weekend. In the last couple hours, I've been working on our climber. So right here, we have our base stage, and we have 3 additional stages that are going to telescope out, and we're going to have a hook on the end that will latch onto the bar and winch us down. Right here, we've got a spring that goes into this tube, and these 3 stages are just going to slide right in here, attached to that bottom of the spring, so it's always trying to push up. And then we're going to have cascade rigging trying to pull up this telescoping part right here. So when we unwinch with our motor, it will shoot up, and then we will drive into the bar, pull down, and hopefully a robot will climb.
Hi, I'm Howard. I'm doing a lot of the electronics work for our robot. So today I've mostly been working on soldering connectors to different motor controllers and wires, getting our power distribution panel and electronics set up, and working with Kyle to try to get everything ready for our robot tomorrow when we start integrating our electronics.
Hello, I'm Kyle. I am one of the programmers for this weekend. So far today, like as Howard said, I've been working with him to get the electronics all set up, configured, and programmed. I've been also setting up my laptop with the FRC driver station so I can deploy the code, and we just got that working a few hours ago. The other programmer who is here has been working on just the basic drivetrain code and other subsystems code. So we have a good solid base that we have started on. And so I've also been looking into potentially using Vision and just to see where we can get with that this weekend and hopefully get something awesome.
So real quick before we keep moving on, we do have a giveaway as mentioned that we do want to start for that. There's a sweatshirt that we'll have somebody model up here. I guess Nick's going to model it. So if you're interested in winning this Kettering hoodie, which is pretty sweet, by the way, just type in Ri3D in chat. Ri3D in chat right now. That's your opportunity to win. Don't forget, you do need to be following the channel in order to win. And our subscribers get 5 times luck. So good luck, everybody. We'll draw for that in just a little bit.
Fantastic. All right. So you've heard from all of our members here that we have a decent amount of progress on all of our mechanisms and subsystems individually. So by tomorrow, we're going to try to be putting the finishing touches on each of these and then assembling it on up, putting on our electrical so that we will be ready to hand it over to programming and get everything tested on Monday. I've been shot.
I do think we had a couple questions as well, too, if I remember seeing.
Oop, the first question was, how long did the speed run take you guys?
I'm pretty sure it was world record. Oh. So the question was, how long was the speed run? I think it was a very admirable time of 54 minutes. I think that's the only documented speed run of this type, making it the world record. So I think we did a pretty good job, all things considered.
There's also a question about the who was the field constructor or what modifications were made for that.
All right, so as you can see right here where Howard and Kyle are standing, you have the red and blue boundaries on the ground. Unfortunately, we do not have any blue gaffer's tape, so it's a little bit incomplete. But right over here, you would have a blue tape line. You can see the red tape line mirrored over here. So we have that lack of the boundaries in the center and the 2 opposing sides, giving a little bit more of an open pathway to traverse the field.
What made you choose the shooter that you're going with? Why did you choose specifically that design?
Okay, so the question was, why do we choose the shooter design? So there's a couple of things. We wanted to shoot from the target zone, which we have a field, but we can't really point that out. So that ended up with like a flywheel shooter, so we get some backspin, so we can have the possibility of bouncing it off the top and getting it into the 3-point goal. We chose to go with a gravity-fed shooter because that's what I'd experienced with, and it tends to be very consistent when you gravity feed in comparison to when you power feed it. Other than that, we went with 6-inch wheels and this variable compression thing, so we can fine-tune the compression of the shooter, which is why these tubes are movable. That's all I have.
And so why we wanted to go more towards that design, looking back at last year's, well, we loved the linear double flywheel on the side shooter. There were a lot of issues. Like as soon as the balls start to get wore down, you just have super inconsistent shots. Like you have to take a guess, like, okay, that ball looks like it's sturdier, and then you get the ball in, you shoot it, and it bounces right back wall. So by going with the target zone and just shooting for the top of the goal, it gives us a much more reliable shot.
The next question is, what world record is Nick breaking with this robot on Monday?
Everyone they let me.
The next question is, what from the 2020 robot inspired the new 2021 design?
I don't know. It drives around very well, and the bumpers are going to look similar. We were very happy with the performance, but we saw other teams' robots and decided that there was better solutions for Robot in 3 days, so we kind of went back to the drawing board.
So we mentioned it earlier on the live stream, but one of the big reasons that we wanted to change up our design, even though this was quite successful, was all the documentation online. This year, you have more resources than any other year in the history of FIRST. We want teams to be able to take advantage of that, so we want to show what you can do by using those different designs, all those different Bulldogs on Chief Delphi. If you follow the advice of others, you can go a long way, and that's why we wanted to do something completely different from last year.
How will vision be implemented into the robot? And I guess what progress has programming made?
So the question is how will vision be implemented in the robot and what progress have we made? So there's a few options we're kind of tossing around. I've been playing around with OpenCV, which, for those of you who don't know, it's Open Camera Vision. It's a library that you can use to do camera vision, basically. So I've been playing around with that quite a bit. I've been able to filter out the colors of each goal, so I can only pick out the red or the blue for each goal, which is helpful for when you need to draw bounding boxes around the low goal and the high goal for goal tracking. We've also been playing around with doing some other vision stuff with Limelight, and that's really it so far. We don't have anything implemented so far. We'll either get that either late tonight, something rudimentary late tonight, or we'll get something by the end of tomorrow, or we might not get something at all.
So the design goal for the vision is to be able to use it to assist our drive up to the goal. We're not necessarily going to be targeting with the robot. It's going to be more of an approach the goal vision. We just think it's simpler and it matches with the design of our robot a lot better.
Next question is, what are some potential challenges you could face with the current robot design?
All right, so the big thing right now is we have a decent CAD done, but there's a lot of fiddling that we're going to have to do. So with the shooter, we have a bunch of different back plates that we're going to try out. Teams have had different success with different coefficient of frictions on the back plates, also with like sponginess of back plates. So some teams use like a foam or a rubber. So we're gonna have to play around with that. For the intake, we're currently starting with smooth tubes. We have some high coefficient of friction or sticky tape that we can use that we're gonna play around with for that, just to make sure we're intaking the balls very quickly. The hopper seems to have some teams that use the V-style hopper, like what we're talking about doing, have had issues with balls jamming, particularly two balls going into what will be the shooter at the same time. So we're gonna have to figure out timing with programming on that. That's why we're really focusing on trying to get a good robot together today, so we can spend a lot of time tuning it tomorrow.
They want to hear a little more about our intake, and has the type of intake been decided yet?
We're doing a simple 3-roller intake that will 4-bar linkage out. I don't have too much more to show you, just because we have parts manufactured, but nothing really assembled. If you look at some of the streams earlier on, we had CAD of it, and you can look and see how it moves and operates. But should be a pretty simple intake. Plenty of teams have done similar things.
So chat, we're going to take a couple more questions. Don't forget, type Ri3D in chat right now if you'd like to win a Kettering University hoodie. They'll be sent out to you. So right now, Ri3D is not case sensitive. I know people were asking. So a couple more questions, and then we're going to let the team get back to work. But we got a couple more coming up here.
Any ideas yet for a climber?
Yep, so right here we have our plan for a telescoping climber. Essentially, you're going to have a base stage and then 3 additional stages nesting inside of each other, just like that. You got a spring that's going to be pushing up on this bottom stage right here. And then all the rest of the stages will be rigged together with a piece of rope or polycord in a cascade style rigging that will bring the rest of them up and our hook up to the height of the bar.
So our big concerns with this climber design is that the PVC is too flexible to be repeatable. We're worried about it possibly bending or kinking. But the reason why we are using PVC is because PVC is very smooth. It'll slide on itself. If we wanted to use something like aluminum, it would bind. So we're just doing PVC, and it's like loosely fit inside each other, so it has a lot of room to slide around.
Has the lack of bumps on the rendezvous changed our design philosophy at all? They want to know that some teams went for pneumatic tires in 2020, and if that was still a discussion, are we planning on doing that, or are we skipping out on them as a whole?
We would not be using pneumatic tires anyway. They're a big pain in the butt to do vision on, so when we decided to go with the kit chassis to keep the cost down, we went with the high grip wheels that come with the default kit chassis. If we had unlimited budget, we probably would have gone with 6-inch Coulsons. If it was the 2020 game, with the 2021 game, we would stick with smaller wheels, probably 4-inch Coulsons.
And last question is, what height are we going for the climber?
The climber will be able to hang on the level bar, but it won't be able to reach the bar if it's tilted against you.
Very cool. So, all right, so everybody, thank you so much for tuning in for that. We're going to definitely let the Kettering team get back to work here. How long are we going for tonight? What's the general idea right now? As long as they don't pass out. So that's the idea and the goal on there. So once again, Ri3D was the keyword. In order to win that sweatshirt, throw that sweatshirt out to somebody so they can model it for us, Nick. Thank you. Somebody model it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so go Luke. Everybody type Luke in chat. But our winner, our winner for this, yeah, there we go. Okay, I don't know why, but my giveaway thing is not working. It's working on the other computer. 1 second. So a couple other things real quick to mention as well. Make sure you check out our videos at youtube.com/firstupdatesnow. We only got a couple up right now. Many more will be uploaded on there. And there we go. The winner of this is going to be MSAW64. MSAW64, congratulations. Make sure you reach out with your information. DM either on Twitch or on our Discord at discord.gg/updatesnow. Make sure you let us know your size, or we're sending you extra small. So, with us, anybody else from the Ri3D team? Anything else to wrap up with before we let you get back to work? All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're gonna let the team get back to work. Keep asking your questions in chat. We'll be here as long as we can. So good luck, everybody.
This First Updates Now video is sponsored in part by PTC and Kettering University. PTC's application Onshape is a professional design software that is provided to first students and mentors for free. You can use Onshape for your robot, the Game Design Challenge, and the Innovation Challenge. Discover why so many teams are using Onshape at onshape.com/edu. Continue your first career with Kettering University. Kettering University will support your first journey with up to $25,000 in scholarships available to first students and a robust alumni program. Schedule your virtual visit to get started at kettering.edu. Thanks for watching. If you want more fun content, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.